Welcome to Badminton Weekly with me, Jasmine Lim. The HSBC BWF World Tour season has been fantastic so far, and with the European leg conclusion, the bloodlines between contenders and pretenders are much clearer now. Shi Yiti, An Se-young, Kim Won-ho and Seo Seong-jae are the ones to beat in their respective disciplines after back-to-back Super 1000 victories, while Japan won 2 out of the 4 women's doubles title in Europe. Chris Langridge discusses who stands out in March.
So for me, the singles players that I would like to mention, there's one for me that was phenomenal, An Se-young, and it's mainly because 4 tournaments she's played this year, she's won them all. She's 20 matches unbeaten. She is special. It's the obvious choice. I can't not mention her just because she is a level above at the moment everybody else. They had this phenomenal final in All England. She really is unique and special. I think there's 3 other players I'd like to mention. Shi Yiti, and the reason is, obviously again, phenomenal performance in Europe. Out of his last 4 tournaments, he's won 3 of them. I think the other thing for me though that stands out is, at the Olympics he underperformed. He accepted that, he acknowledged that. He took some time away to make his decision about if he wanted to continue. And since he did that, he has been amazing. And I think it's really mature what he did, which was to just pause for a minute and try and think of everything and decide if it was right for him, and he's clearly shown it was because he's playing to an incredible level. I think there's 2 other players. One for me is Christo Popov, which on one hand might be a weird one. Now, Christo had struggled quite a lot and he hadn't performed to the same level that we saw a year ago. He showed in Swiss Open he's still just as good. And I think for me it was a case of he wasn't having any momentum, he wasn't getting these wins. You know, he's kind of had 2 wins in his last 6 individual tournaments before Swiss Open, and then Swiss Open, this big result, he beat 2 top 10 players. And for me, I think that's a big turning stone for Christo Popov. The other one, which we can't not mention because he had the most phenomenal All England from a singles point of view, Lee Chia-hao, which was such an amazing result. Nobody would have predicted he could have made the final of the All England, and the level he played at, especially in the semi-final against Alex Lanier, amazing. Well, I hope this is the start of something because he was such a big prospect as a junior. Didn't quite happen. He was world #1 as a junior, but it's taken him a bit of time to find that level. So it's going to be really interesting if he does now move on from this or not. On the double side of things, there's one standout pair from the All England side of it, which we can't not mention. Gyozin Hua and Chen Fang-ku. What an All England they had, and I had the privilege to commentate on them perform, and I have to say, wow. And as crazy as it sounds, I actually think the match against Tom and Delphine that they participated in was kind of this weird game where something happened because they transformed the match. They were getting outplayed at times and they raised their level, and then after that in the semi-final and the final they were a different pair. Better than I've ever seen them play before. Both of them individually, but as a pair, there were so many things they did well. For me, it was the first time I'd seen them where I thought they are exceptional. The level they played at it truly was as good as it gets. The big thing is now, can they move on from that? Can they progress? And can they possibly, as a partnership that's going to stay together, try and take on that mantle of being world #1?
Another standout performance from the European leg was Chiharu Shida and Nami Matsuyama. The Japanese made history by becoming the first pair since 2014 to win 2 or more titles at the All England. But what impressed Selina Piek the most was how they tackled the challenges in their first tournament together this year.
They are a good pair. They won the bronze at the Olympics. We've seen the previous results, and of course they have shown they are capable of winning an All England. Then they haven't played a tournament in the whole of 2025. So in that matter, I would say I was a bit surprised because you never know how pairs will do when they have split up or come back together. But in this case, I think it worked like a charm. They were incredible. Normally the Chinese are super strong and they can power through. But in this case, the Japanese duo, they started out in defense and they were using a lot of the flat defense and following up the shot. And I could see that the Chinese were getting a little bit uncomfortable. Even the front player, she was not able to jump into that. So what they did super well is playing from the defense, waiting for the right opportunity and then capitalizing it. and they did that with so much power in the defense and moving forward. And I think that shook the Chinese a little bit by surprise. What the Japanese is doing so well is that there are no easy mistakes and they're mixing up the defense and attack so well. Look at the variation the Japanese pair have been using in their attack, especially the cross smash. They have been scoring a lot on the cross attack, and then the front player was there waiting and played the soft block. And I think it's all about mixing up those opportunities by playing a high smash, by playing a cross smash, by playing a drop shot. And I think that worked super well with the Chinese. They had no clue what to expect. And you could also see that in their defense. They got a little bit shaky, they got insecure, and I think that was one of the main reasons why they were able to beat Liu and Tan. So that's also a huge credit to the Japanese pair. I think they played one of the best matches I have seen them play. And I could also see them growing in confidence, the Japanese pair, especially Shida. She was really good, but then also we should never underestimate Matsuyama, because we all have been talking about Shida, how she's good on court, how she's reading the court well, but I think in this match especially Matsuyama was doing the wonders. Like I said, I have not seen one easy mistake from her side, and she had also some incredible saves. And I think being able to beat such a top pair, all those things needs to fall in place. So I think the key point was the Japanese came out with a really strong game plan by shaking up the confidence of the Chinese, and also they hit their top level. I think when we look at Japanese women's doubles, they're really good in using the whole court. So normally they struggle a little bit more in very windy areas, when the court conditions are changing all the time, because Japanese players normally they're super solid in their defense. They're using the whole court to move around the opponent. And if there's a lot of drift, that makes it tough to do that for them. So I think the All England, there's not too much drift. It's even a little bit on the slower side. And with them being so solid, not making any mistakes, switching around on court, using their quickness and speed, I think the All England arena is suiting their game style a lot. And I think that can also show why it has been an all-Japanese final this year. I think it shows that they're really, really hard to beat when the court conditions are like this.
Since Kim Won-ho and Seo Seong-jae began their partnership in January, their success has been nothing short of amazing. The Korean pair won 3 titles out of 5 tournaments together, including a Super 1000 at the Yonex All England and Petronas Malaysia Open. However, according to the pair in Birmingham, the Kim-Seo partnership is not permanent.
오랜 시간 동안 같이 선수 생활하면서도 많이 배우고 옆에서 배우고 또 존경하면서 같이 성장을 했다고 생각하고 이렇게 파트너가 됐는데 감사하게 생각하고 제가 할 수 있는 플레이를 더 하고 더 연구를 많이 해야겠다는 생각이 들었습니다.
우선은 제 플레이 스타일 자체가 이제 파트너 누구랑 했을 때 저희가 어떻게 하면은 좀 누구랑 하더라도 그 사람만의 좀 최적의 플레이를 찾아서 하려고 하는 것 같고, 그런 거 다 떠나서 그냥 좋은 파트너를 만나서 저는 또 계속 잘했던 것 같아서 저 말고 저 파트너들한테 고맙죠. 우선은 그립다기보다는 저는 또 오랫동안 두 개를 해오면서 이제 코너복싱도 병행하면 좋겠지만 이제 또 몸적으로 이제 또 컨디션이 떨어지는 것도 느끼고, 그리고 이제 두 경기를 하다 보면은 이제 제가 원하는 대로 상황이 잘 흘러가지 않고 체력적인 부담감도 있고, 이제 그랬을 때 졌을 때 좀 타격이 좀 많이 컸던 것 같아서 그리운 것보다는 이제 저희가 계속 길게 보려고 하면은 한 종목에 좀 더 집중을 해야 되는 게 맞다고 생각을 한 것 같아요.
네, 저도 마찬가지로 이제 두 종목 병행도 해봤지만 하면서 좀 이제 남자 복식에 대한 애정도 있었고, 그래서 이제 한 종목만 해서 더 오래 하고 싶은 마음이 있는 것 같습니다.
우선은 아직 저희 대표팀, 한국 대표팀 감독님, 코치님이 정확하게 이제 선임이 되지 않은 상황이어서 이게 저희가 이렇게 확정이라고 말할 수 있는 부분은 아직 아닌 것 같아서 그 부분이 좀 더 지나고 나서 이제 대표팀이 좀 정상적으로 이렇게 된 상황이 왔을 때 그때가 이제 저희가 갈 수 있을 수도 있고 뭐 어떻게 될지 모르겠지만 지금 주어진 상황에서 이제 원호랑 하고 있는 상황에서도 좀 좋은 성적을 내기 위해서 서로 열심히 하고 있습니다.
Tai Tzu Ying has called time on her glittering professional career after competing for over a decade. The Chinese Taipei star has won an Olympic silver medal and 32 BWF titles. Looking back on her incredible career, the former world #1 talks about her last Olympics and how she would like to be remembered by fans.
我觉得每一项成绩都是一路走来都是这样子，大家也都看过我的很多大大小小的比赛，对，那我觉得有大家一起帮我见证这一份荣耀就很好了。那我自己没有太特别，就是对于哪项成就有比较印象深刻，其实比较还好。奥运对每一个运动选手来讲，其实都是最高的殿堂，那大家也都希望可以有好的成绩。那我参加了4次，就也只有东京奥运这一次就是有拿到银牌。那我觉得对我自己来讲，在生涯上我觉得是没有什么改变。当然对我自己是一个肯定，但是我觉得可以去推广到羽球这项运动，然后让大家就是可以活动起来，我觉得其实是蛮好的。我其实觉得蛮开心的，但是这开心其实也是带有一些压力。但对我自己来讲，我觉得把它当成是一个动力，可能会是更好的，因为就会让我在场上更有拼劲，然后也可以看到更多人来为我们加油，然后让我们在场上其实会觉得自己奋斗不是这么孤单，会更有力量。因为我是出发之前其实有受伤，所以到那边的时候，我自己其实知道状态不是这么的好。但我觉得那时候比完的时候是很难过，但现在就是因为我也开刀结束了，然后也现在也在复健。那我觉得运动选手的生涯本来就会有一个就是要走到会跟大家说再见的时候，对。但是我觉得并不是真的完全离开球场。就是我觉得应该说换一种方式，然后可能我可以再继续为我们的体育，就是继续为这一项运动做努力。像我自己的话，我是比较专注在于自己跟场上，那我觉得其他的观众的加油声，其实是让我可以很享受在场上比赛的感觉。因为我们可能需要有很多的，就是很专注，然后也要拼命的去赢比赛这样子。对，如果只是表演的话，可能输赢的性质没有这么的看重。但是我们当然希望把球打好，但最终的目标还是希望可以赢得比赛。人可能会离开球场，但是我的精神不会，就是带自己的精神不会。我觉得我想带给大家的是相信自己永不放弃的力量。
That's all the time we have on the show. Badminton Weekly is taking a short break and will return with a preview of the TotalEnergies BWF Sudirman Cup. Join us on April 15 and discover why our experts believe China may face a stern challenge in their title defense. In the meantime, stay up to date with the latest news by downloading our BWF app, Badminton for You. And do let us know your thoughts, comments, and questions on our Facebook and YouTube pages. See you on April 15.